a goofball. All right, let me get this shared. I always wonder if people see all this first part of me like trying to share it. They go back and watch it and they're like, "What the hell is
Everyone's seen
wrong
it.
with this guy?"
Was
Oh,
not even in
there
the
we are.
house and just swung down and walked up.
Now
went
they
home.
can. Now they can hear us.
All right. If you remind me.
Give it a second till somebody shows up. Let us know. Something here. It always takes a few seconds. Somebody will say something. You'll get a one, and this is always the part where I'm nervous. I'm always like, "Is anybody gonna come? What if nobody comes? What if nobody loves me anymore?"
You modulated that fast.
Oh, it could happen. It could happen.
All right, we have some folk.
All right, that's what we wanted here. So, hey, patrons, now with this reptiles, just Jeff or Redneck Jeff or whatever we want to call him today is doing the filming, and we are here with the Hef family, who's some Patreon members, and we told you earlier. I think I told you earlier in the post. Go check out their Facebook first. Show up here on the way. I get out of the way first.
The logo?
The logo.
Okay.
You love the logo.
I do.
It's all around the flag. It's really awesome. Make sure to check them out on Facebook.
Bring it
Uh,
up close.
They've opened up their home to us to stay here, which is awesome. And this was
All right.
your first show, correct?
Yes.
Not
Yes.
going, but vending, right?
Vending, yes.
And I thought it would be really cool for everybody to kind of hear how that first show experience is. I know a lot of people out there, Patreon, are going to want to get to that point. They're at their first show. Some have probably already done that and can share their experience with you too.
Right.
So how was it?
It was great. It was good to be on the other side of the table for once.
Yeah.
Instead of being the one looking at everything. It was great to be able to talk to everybody. this
Yes. How do you feel afterwards?
time. Oh, I'm so tired. My feet hurt.
Exhausted.
Oh my gosh,
The
my feet
knee
hurt.
beats.
Yeah. You know, and I always told you gotta, gotta stay up. You gotta talk to people. You gotta engage people. But I don't think people realize how much of a beat that is. Like you don't think you're like standing there and doing much. Oh, you're doing a lot.
You're doing a lot. Even if you're just standing there, just saying hi to everybody that walks by, it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work to make sure you get every single person that walks by, because even if they're walking by, they may be like really far from your table, and the second you say hi, how are you, or how's it going, they have literally from that point been across the aisleway. We say hi, how are you, and they literally walk up to our table.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. And so many people are kind of like, I think, introverted. They're going to wait till that first contact happens because they're just, in their personality, they're afraid to make it. And as soon as that first warm contact comes, that guard kind of comes down and they come and they talk to you.
Yeah.
Other people I've had too, they're the exact, they'll come up like, hey, how's it going? Say, I can show you anything you're interested in. Nope, just looking.
Yeah.
Well, if there's something you want to see, if there's a certain gene from me, no, just looking.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I can tell you don't want to talk. I'm like, okay. And then finally, like, I want that. No,
Yeah.
okay. You know,
Right.
sometimes it disappeared. You never see them again.
Right. I know
But-
for us, it was, we actually engaged a lot of people who may not have been coming to our table to buy something, but they would ask us questions, like general care of how to take care of something. They're like, we're not looking to buy it today, but like, what's the care for this crested gecko? Or, how do you take care of this gargoyle? So it was nice to be able to talk to people who just weren't gonna be there to buy. Like,
Definitely.
we're showing them, hey, we know you're not buying something today, but we're still gonna talk to you. We're still gonna have a conversation with you.
Absolutely. And sometimes on your first shows,
Oh, for
is
fuck's
that your phone? You can't say fuck's sake on a live video.
You just did.
Jesus, man. It's like the good more time. If we get any comments, let us know what they are. Just shout them out, Jeff.
It's pretty silent there. I think everybody's just paying attention to y'all.
Pretty silent.
Yeah.
Well, then you guys can comment too. If you have questions after.
Literally, nice logo, good evening.
Thank you.
Cause
Hi,
Thank
Hayden.
you on
Yeah.
the logo.
Because
Thank
usually
you.
there's somebody saying something, so I'm like, did we
And
drop
Christopher Sexton, we cuss.
Fuck yeah.
Good
we do.
man.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
do. It's like the YouTube punches like do here.
That's awesome.
And the other thing besides being tired when you do all that, though, all those first shows you do, they're not going to be huge monetary things.
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
But that networking and that growing and that getting their name out there and getting that social media out there, and then when you do a few more and people have gone to those shows, they see that logo several times, and they start to say, "Oh, these people they're here. They're not just going to come and disappear." It grows. It's like anything in this hobby.
Right.
You got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Marcos
Marcos is at the show.
Montalvo.
So Marco,
I don't know if I said that right. Wife wants to know how you came up with your slogan, Matt.
Mine.
Yep.
Because my humor stopped at about the 8th grade, so it was for me, it was pretty obvious. The one that hasn't made it out because my Aaron, there's another Aaron, two Aaron, but my Aaron said absolutely not, is we're going to breed carpet pythons too. Of course, we had the setback when our female died. And originally my logo was going to be Own the Gods because of the lipless part. And we were going to use I want to see my balls kind of as a funny little slogan. And we were also going to be like have Show Me Your Carpet for carpet pythons. But she kind of killed that one. Apparently I have to maintain a little bit of couth. So it was just that. It was literally just a ball joke because, you know, I'm in 8th grade still, basically. But that networking, I think, is so important.
Yeah.
I really do. And it will grow, it'll grow from there. And you know, just like my first question died, and I always talk about sticking with it. When you do your first show, or anybody out there, or wherever you do those first, you've got to continue to stick with it because it's going to constantly build and get better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
So
I
All
can't
the
tell
times
you, we
when-
bought a box of like 500 cards. We have like 200 left.
it's good.
So 300 cards went out in the last 2 days, which is freaking awesome. Like, we're just
That is awesome.
we
That's
are
crazy.
we were so excited. I mean, we might have probably handed out our cards probably one too many times. But hey, you know what? We got our name out there.
My first show, I took a bunch of cards. I think I got rid of 20 of them. So, like, seriously, if you got rid of that many, that's good.
Yeah.
I've still got, like, I was really like, oh, these business cards are going to be badass. They're all purple. Or all. I have got my original business cards. Kurt's name's not even on there yet.
Nice.
So I was like, I ordered like a whole bunch. I still
Wow.
got them down.
If if all you had was in the box, you are out.
I've got some more stuff.
Okay.
But I'm out, thank God, because Kurt wants his name on there. He thinks I hate him or something. But since he didn't show up, maybe I'll put it on there. So is there anything that you want to tell people about, what, like something that surprised you that you didn't expect, besides being tired or anything else? It was just like I never thought it'd be like this, or this was different than what I anticipated, or this was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
You know, it was really nice to, you know, all the other vendors that just came up to us and were talking to us. They were like, they were giving us pointers because they knew that we had just started. Like, this was our first show. A lot of vendors who have seen us as just normal people before, they're like, oh, you
Taking
have
our
like, you took this and you ran with it. And we're like, yeah. And so,
Marcus says Kurt owes him a signature.
so, you know, that was surprising to me. It was just how many people were still, even though you're viewed as like a competitor, like people were still just open. And I know a lot of people. It was also interesting today. Somebody came up to me and they're like, yeah, I was talking to so and so down the way, and they told me I had to come see your geckos that you
Yeah.
had, and I was just like, really? Like, they said that? And they're like, yeah, they totally told me to come down here and
Yeah.
check them out. So I was kind of
One vendor telling another vendor to do
Yeah.
it. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
interesting.
We sent some people your way.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
and I mean, you know, it's funny because like every hobby is gonna have a handful of assholes. It just is, and we're no different than the reptile hobby. But most people vending, you know, they'll do that. Like I've had people ask, oh, and I'm like, oh man, I don't, but I know down there they got this, or down there, oh, if you're
Absolutely.
looking for geckos, check out those geckos down there.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that all the time. I know other people have sent people my way, and it's amazing that kind of everybody wants to work together,
Yeah.
and they want everyone to be successful.
It's a very tight knit community.
But none of them are going to say, oh, don't give me your money and give it to them. But if I can't get their money, I want somebody else to get it, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of, it's different beyond that other side for sure on how that goes.
The big thing to me that I thought was really fun doing it is all of the, for example, today's show. So
Right.
our second day, we had a lot more individuals that were coming more as just kind of, oh, we heard about this thing on the weekend.
Yeah.
But kind of getting them interested, getting them excited, and teaching people that are first time at a reptile show, first time potential
Right.
owners, and just educating them. And to be honest, it was fun to be able to kind of get that interaction with people.
It is, if you like reptiles and you like what you do, getting to talk reptiles is fun.
It's great.
And the other thing is that even though that buy today, they're going to buy at some point. Or there's a high likelihood they will. And now maybe it won't be for you because maybe you're not going to be at the next show or wherever they walk in and buy. But at some point in time too, somebody else is going to buy it from you because somebody else is doing that same thing.
Right.
So if we all kind of take care of each other and we talk to people even who aren't buying that day and not just blow them off,
Yeah.
the likelihood of them becoming a customer is going to be higher.
Right.
Whether it's from you or not, it's still going to bring in the hobby.
Yeah.
So it's going to help each other out on for sure.
Something
So
else y'all aren't saying too. The more you enjoy what you're doing, the less It seems like work.
Oh,
That's
you
good.
asked my dog's barking. It was work, man.
Oh yeah.
But I think if you don't enjoy it, you won't last in it. Like people can see the fake passion.
Passion shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Real passion shows.
real passion shows,
Yeah.
real caring about your animal shows. You know, and I've always talked about if it's a business, if you're going to do it as an actual business, like you have to think about the money. You do. There's no way around it. You got to plan. You got to look at it. And as people say, well, if you think about that, then the animal care is dropping. And I don't think that's the same. As a matter of fact, I think if you think about the money, your animal care has to be on point.
Right.
If your animal care on point, then you can't do this. Like
Right.
business is very important if you're
Sure.
looking
Yeah.
at a business.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different. That transition happens from hobby to business and hobby
Right.
breeding. But I think you guys killed it. I love the logo, and having that logo here in Colorado is gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.
Pride of Texas Pythons wants to know how many people came to the booth that were scared of snakes.
Oh man, how many did you guys have?
You know, actually, we only had maybe, at least from my perspective, 2 or 3. And typically, from my perspective with that, what I saw is it was usually a spouse or sibling,
Mhm.
and they're like, that's their thing.
Right.
We did actually. It was fun. We had a couple that came up, and they were talking mostly about geckos. And they came over to the ball pythons, and they were talking about it. And I was like, well, you know, have you ever held one?
Yeah.
It's like, no, not really. He's like, you know, I'm a little scared of I do have a python. It's not one of these, but
Yep.
he's like, I'm a little scared of it. And I was like, well, no worries. He's like, yeah, and he's like, I was like, well, would you like to hold one? And so I reached in and I pulled out, and he's like, really? You just reach in and they're fine? It's like, absolutely. And so he held it, and he was really good about it. You could tell he wasn't terribly nervous, but his girlfriend that was with him, she was
Open
very,
question.
very shocked.
So for all of you,
Yeah.
where did you sell your first snake?
Me? Oh,
All
man.
of you.
Was it to you?
All of you. Everybody. Open question.
Like first thing today or first thing ever?
I'm assuming ever.
It was either for me. It was either Craigslist, Facebook, or Jeff. I don't really remember. It was one of those 3.
Yesterday.
Ours was
Yesterday?
Ours
Oh,
was
awesome.
yesterday.
High five for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So our yesterday actually was the debut, so to speak, of our first clutch. Dustin and Miranda, who are
Our business partners.
This was also their first show, first successful season for them. They had
Red
about
Knob
5 different
Reptiles
brands.
says congrats.
Oh,
There
thank
go.
you.
It was fun.
Along with
But-
Pride of Texas Pythons.
It's just
Thank
Cody.
you.
Is who probably
Oh,
texted
gotcha.
us.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
But yeah, so his girlfriend was with him, and she was pretty kind of terrified. So we had the Colorado Herpetological Society next to us, and they had lots of ball pythons for people to come and hold,
Yeah.
and to just kind of get the experience. And she freaked out a little when she realized they were right next to us and people were holding these things. But after about 2-3 minutes of him holding one of our little pastels, she saw kind of how calm he was, and she actually was like, okay, may I? And so actually kind of held the front end of the snake for her, and she held the back end of our little pastel, and she did really well.
Oddly enough, I
she-
think people are mostly afraid of their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's
bite
where the
you.
teeth are, though,
Right.
but yeah.
That's why they bite you.
Yeah,
I did get
right.
that snake sold.
Did
Nice.
Yeah, the one that made me bleed. Sold.
you?
I think my favorite scared one to show is I had these 2. They're probably like they're like late high school years, maybe just out for one of them. I don't know. I wasn't like checking IDs, you know.
Right.
And they had their dad with them. The 2 girls were into snakes. Dad was like, nope. And mom wasn't there. And mom was a nope too. They made that clear. So there's no way they're gonna buy anything. But I still wanted to kind of engage because the girls were really into it.
You
And no dad wants to be punked out in front of his teenage daughters. He's kind of like a rah kind of stack guy. So I'm like, we'll punk him out. So I told the idea. I just punked this dude right in front of his daughters. I'm like, well, have you ever touched one? Oh no. I'm like, well, they will. Well, you at least got to hold one. They will. And so he's like,
Yeah.
oh. And then he did it, you know. And once he did it, I think he held that snake for 15 minutes solid.
Nice.
And it was crawling around. They were all and then he wanted to get it, but wife wasn't there. So I knew he wasn't going to buy it anyway. But after he held it, you could see his face. So what is it? He's like, it's not what I thought it was.
Right.
He was like, oh, I thought it'd be slimy. I thought it'd be this.
That was the same
He's like,
reaction.
I've never been around one of these.
Yeah.
And so it just changed his whole person, which is what I wanted. I mean, I wasn't even gonna make money off that.
I was originally scared to death of snakes. Didn't want them. Didn't want
So that's-
anything to do with
yeah.
them. We went to Repticon probably 2 years ago.
Pride of Texas says you need to make this a reoccurring segment. Need to
I would love
get more
to,
people on here
but
doing this kind of stuff.
They live in Colorado and I live in Kansas. Yeah, well, only you finish your story, then I'll address that.
yeah.
So,
Anyway, I was, we went to Repticon a couple of years ago and we bought our first pastel, which was actually the sire to the pastels that we bred our very first clutch. Scared to death of snakes, didn't want anything to do with them. He convinced me to touch it.
just
I touched it.
yeah, we've
And
all
he-
been there, right, guys? Just
I
Just
touched
touch it.
I touched your snake. baby.
again,
But
junior high.
then he was
And I
like,
convinced her to hold it.
Oh!
so I held his snake. And then it was downhill from there, and now we
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
an entire
marriage
room.
followed that one.
Big thing for her too is even when it came to the snakes, she didn't want one, didn't want to deal with it. But every time she saw a pied,
Yeah.
shocker,
Yeah.
it was like, I love it, I love it, I love
Yeah.
it. So the pastel that she ended up touching and holding and everything like that, she ended up
Playing
she's
with
like,
your snake.
okay, I want it.
Yeah.
And
Well, somebody else's
but-
snake in, right?
Yeah, it was, I was playing with another dude's snake. How does that
Technically,
make
you're
you feel?
So, but
Oh, that's so bad.
that
Sharing is
pastel-
caring.
Yeah, that pastel is also 100% het pied.
Nice.
So that was kind of the thought process. It's like, okay, we're gonna go with one, and we're gonna see if this is really something that we enjoy, that we're interested in, that we do well with. But as a backup, I'm watching my genetics because if anything, she's gonna want to produce her own pie bones, and I knew
Right.
she would. If we ended up proceeding past the one snake.
Must be something to name Aaron and Pides.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gotta.
It's got to be,
It's
right?
gotta be.
Now on to the reoccurring segment. I love that to be like, and as things happen where we're with other people, because it's, one thing I want is different perspective. And we started our YouTube channel when we were new, and as it's grown, my view on things, my perspective, and how I look at things is going to just naturally kind of change. There's no way I can completely avoid that. But I want to keep that perspective of people at different stages. So when we're around our members, and it's going to be a different perspective, I want to get that and share that. And as it all goes through different stages, whether it's people who are bigger than us, I think there may be a few people who are actually bigger than us, which is great too, or people who are smaller than us and just starting out, or wherever you're at in the hobby, because I think it's important. Because I know when I was new, you look at people who were like doing some of the things that we're at, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you can do this too," and I'm like, "Yeah, I go, yeah, of course you're saying that," but you can. And when you see people who are like, if they're wanting to get in there, and they see people who are at your level making that first show, and enjoying it and making that success, other people find that and they're gonna be like, "I can't do that."
Yeah.
It's not just coming from somebody who has, anybody can if they just stick with it. I really believe that and they're passionate about it.
Yeah.
So we do want to make it kind of a reoccurring segment. Is it going to be like every third Wednesday? No, it's going to be when we have a chance. And when we're around people we can do this with, because this is fun for me, because I get to have a different perspective too. So. Any last questions or anything we got on there, Jeff, we need to address? And if not, we'll hop up, because Jeff and I got like a 7-hour drive
Yeah.
and a bunch of snakes to unload, because Reed sent me with a bunch. So
A lot.
he sent me a lot.
And they're
Yes.
amazing.
He did. Reed does good work. I do like Tallgrass's stuff. The only person whose stuff I like more than Tallgrass is my own. And that's because I'm biased as hell. Fully admit
Hey,
it.
I've hooked you up with a couple good ones.
Yeah,
You
but
never know. We might be able to hook you up.
absolutely. And that's the thing too. There will be points in time where this is not going to be just you guys buying from me. Like I will end up buying from some of you
Hey,
guys.
you get the chocolate chip in there going.
Well, did you see the banana pies that got hatched on here too? Those
Yeah.
are phenomenal. I mean,
Yes, they raise their own rats.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Mice, gerbils, ASFs.
Yes.
Yes.
All of the above.
Yes. Unfortunately, my pied, she has extreme taste in food and will only eat gerbils. Sorry, don't mean to offend anybody, but
that's not going to hear. Everybody here is going to
Yeah.
understand.
she gets filet mignon while
Filet
everybody
mignon.
else gets
Ground beef.
yeah,
Right.
like
Right.
yeah.
Hot dogs. We
Right,
got-
hot
yeah.
dogs.
Or rat
See
hot
what's ever
dogs.
left and you get flaming.
You get the lip snouses, you get flaming on. You know?
Yeah, we got some that are dedicated to gerbil, or one dedicated to gerbil and a couple dedicated to ASF.
You know, a lot of people say pies seem to be finicky, and they can. I've got one that just refuses to eat half the time.
We have both extremes.
Actually, I want to say something. So,
Do
for
it.
those of you who are thinking about breeding ASFs, and if you've ever heard somebody tell you it is very difficult, because that's all we heard. When we first started out with this,
From
everybody's
multiple
like,
people.
no, they're really difficult to breed.
You don't
I
wanna
call
do it. You don't
BS
wanna do
because
it.
we have 3 tanks in there full of ASFs.
And they keep
We've been
going.
breeding them for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, every time I
don't
was
listen to what
talking
they
to them
say.
about it,
Yeah.
they kept telling me, "Oh, it's too hard. Trust me, they're too much of a pain in the ass."
They're
And I'm
like,
well,
you know, I don't
I
do
did
much
it by
of
accident. No,
Yeah,
not
we
really.
actually
I
did do it
I
by accident,
semi-intended
but
to,
yeah.
at the same time, it wasn't an end goal necessarily. at
Now
the
we have
time.
3 tanks full of ASFs.
You know,
So.
Kurt does all the rodents for us, and he'll see the little assholes. He's like, they're the devil. He says they're mean, they'll bite him all the time, they get a chance, and things
They're
like that.
bitey,
But they're
they're-
not hard to breed. Like,
No.
we've had great success breeding ASFs. And for problem eaters, you know, they're great. They are great. There was a
True.
while, and this year, I have too many babies now to do this. When we were smaller and we had our own ASFs, we weren't, you know, like in our own rats, and we weren't connected to Man Reptile World yet. I started all my babies on ASFs.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing mice. All we did was rats and ASF.
Mm.
So I needed they wouldn't need a rat pink. I needed a hopper for a lot. They got ASFs. And people are like, oh, they're going to stuck on it, and they'll switch right off.
Yeah.
You know, especially when they're young, they don't care. So
I have ones that'll switch back and forth.
Yep.
Like I said, we have one that's dedicated, but
That's all she eats.
she's
Yeah.
But
always
she's
fine.
eating, so I don't care.
I don't care.
That's
I don't
exactly
care.
And if you have them, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if you have a place to get them, it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
And that is one thing too, something else about breeding on rats. They really took the infrastructure portion to heart when we did that
Yes.
video.
Yes.
So there's rodent breeding, they have everything set up. I mean, everything's set up really nice. You're actually gonna see it. We did a video in there. We'll be doing that later, releasing. So you'll get to see a lot of their collection, all the stuff they do. But it makes a difference. It really does.
It does.
really does. All right, anything else we need to address?
That was it.
Any guys want to pass on before we get off of here?
Check out our Facebook page.
Do check out the Facebook
Colorado
page.
Cold Bloods, and we also have Instagram. It's at Colorado Cold Bloods.
Probably do more on there than I do. We're gonna kick Kurt in the nuts to get my Instagram. All right, guys.
And don't give up.
Yeah, don't give
Don't
up.
give up.
Don't give you, and that's
You're
so
gonna have ups
important.
and downs. Don't
You
give up.
are. I mean, you're gonna, and I almost quit.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had that first clutch, I almost
Yeah.
quit. I look back now and I think, what if I had? I don't know what. I mean, I have no idea what my life would even be like if I quit.
Or honestly, I mean, it sounds silly, but where would we be at without it? I mean, I
Oh, you found somebody
You've
else.
heard. You
He stalks
literally.
you. Don't even think that. He
We
totally
already
stalks
talked
you.
about this. Yeah, she figures I'm the creeper behind you. So, yeah, no, really, I mean, you know, the advice and kind of following stuff has really helped us out.
I appreciate
You
that.
know, there's a couple big ones, you know, but like Balls You, a few other guys. but,
Gavin. Gavin's got
Love
bigger.
Gavin.
He's
You know,
bigger than me. He's
Love
good.
Gavin.
Gavin kills me because I don't know how he does it or if he's got a microphone in here, but typically when I'm having a very specific problem, within about 3 days, he usually has a video posted that has the solution. So,
Kind of
So you got a stalker.
Yeah.
He must.
He's got microphones around or something. But no, in reality, like I said, the ideas about the infrastructure or rat building racks or all of that stuff, it's extremely helpful to all of us, I think. So
I
Bark
appreciate
Check,
it.
Miguel.
I wanna say thank you. So,
You know,
all of them.
Cusco,
Yep.
all of them.
God, I love me some Cusco.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite. He's one of our members. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
Cusco. Is Cusco on here today?
I
We
haven't
see
seen
you,
it.
Cusco.
I have
Oh,
not.
no, we're
Uh,
calling you out because you're not on here right
Yeah,
now.
and for the safe drive,
Well,
we're gonna do some rotation, and if we start dragging the ass too bad, we're gonna pull off, and we're gonna
Yeah,
take a
sorry.
quick little power nap.
Yep. Well, 30-minute power nap along I-70. I do have a gun, so if any creepers come, I can shoot them in the face.
I'm a fighter, so we got that too.
You just hold them down. And
I'll
shoot
I'll
them
slow
in
him
the
down.
face
He can
full
shoot him.
shot. Well, for the record, we're not going to shoot anybody in the face. But, well, no, I probably will. I said that. All right, guys. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. The support that you give us is why we're able to do the things we're able to do. So it means the world to me. Thank you guys for opening up your house to us.
Always.
And for agreeing to do this video, because it's
Yes.
kind of opened up your soul a little bit
Right.
on camera. If you're not
Yeah.
used to it, it's hard to do, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate. All right, guys. We'll see you guys when we get home.
Bye.